28, 2024. This is a good one. This is Solomon 18, 23 to 24. All right. We started at 20. This is Solomon 18 and 20 all the way down to 24. Revelation 6. Revelation 6 and 15, or 6 and 13, all the way down to 17. That's excellent. So the plague is happening right now. I hope you start right now, right? You know what I should do?
Oh, I didn't go live on YouTube, so you told me you were going to call me. Call Captain. I see you go live on YouTube, so. They say the sound is still restored, sir. It is. It is, sir. Somewhere. Yeah, it's already answered.
Technical problem. You have questions in the room? We get it together. Any questions in the room?
It already was already done. I turned it counterclockwise until it stops, sir. Say this one. So the sound is still a little distorted. Yeah, the gain was not turned on. The gain was on the other side. So like, sir. I just turned the gain down now. All right. The gain's over here. So you gotta turn this off. This is the gain. Alright? It's still low. It's still distorted though. Cut it off and go back in. Cut it off and go back in? No. The phone. Cut it off and go back in? Yeah, check it out. Come. Good to go, sir. Sure. Come. Wrap it up. Take a question in the room. No, let me, if there are questions in the room, I'll wait for one online. Come. Kassan Salaki, sir, may I have a breakdown on Ruth chapter 2, verse 12? All right, Ruth 2 and 12.
This is the book of Ruth, chapter 2 and 12. Lord, recompense thy work, and a full reward be given thee, the Lord God of Israel, whose wings are to trust.
Okay, so I need to read the explanation about Ruth. Ruth was a sister of what, right? The Moabite relationship. Meaning she was a woman that lived, she was not a Moabite. She married him. Right. Same way because that they call you an American, right? Because you were born in America. It was the same way in the ancient times. Right? She lived in the but then she came back to the land of her people. But she came back impoverished, very poor, because her husband died. She had nothing. So then she came back to live with her mother or her former mother-in-law, I can't recall. But you can look that up, all right? And so now she's back, and is this after she met Boaz?
Can we go live on YouTube, sir? You didn't tell me.
Is this after she met Boaz?
No, sir. It says that in verse 1.
Okay, so she met Boaz already. Right? What verse was his question in?
She said verse 12, sir.
Okay, skip down. You read that, please.
Come. Ruth chapter 2, verse 12. The Lord recompense thy work, and a full reward be given thee of the Lord Most High of Israel.
Keep going.
Under whose wings thou art come to trust.
Keep going.
Verse 13. Then she said, let me find favor in thy sight, my Lord, for that thou hast comforted me, and for that thou hast spoken friendly unto thine handmaid.
So this is the night that she met Boaz, right? I believe this is in the morning when Boaz woke up and she was curled around his feet. Give me a few verses up to give me some context, all right? Is there a specific point to his question? Whoever asked the question, give me the point, all right? That might help me help you in a better way. If you just skip up to just tell me what's happening right now.
Verse 15. And she was risen up to glean. Boaz commanded his young men, saying, let her glean even among the sheaves. And
Boaz was a man of means and wealth. And she was there to glean. What does that mean?
That would have meant she was poor.
She was poor. The gleaning where you went to a field where a farmer crops, the crops on the outskirts, right on the outskirts of his land, when anything that would fall on the ground had there for the poor to pick up. Those were their crops, right? So the poor, you had apple trees. Apples weren't around, I don't believe, in the Middle East, but you might have fig trees or grapevines. And around the outskirts of your land, whatever dropped on the ground, you could not pick up. You had to leave it there. And there were poor people that would come by and pick up anything that fell on the ground on the outskirts of your land. It's in the law that you cannot pick that up to provide for the poor. The Most High has had a provision in the Bible for the poor people.
I was told to turn
Everybody understands, right? So now, Ruth was there gleaning. She was there picking fruit up off the ground, which is what gleaning means. She was there to pick fruit up off the ground. Keep going.
You want to jump down a little bit more, sir?
One verse above the brother's question.
Ruth, verse 11. And Boaz answered and said unto her, it hath fully been shewed me, all that thou hast done unto my mother-in-law since the death of thine husband.
So right, she was staying with her mother-in-law. Her husband died. She moved back to the land of Israel to be with her mother-in-law and was a tremendous help to her mother-in-law. Now remember, her husband, but she went back to live with her mother-in-law and was a treasure and a need to her mother-in-law. Keep going. And Boaz knew about it. Keep going.
And how thou hast left thy father and thy mother, and the land of thy nativity.
And left her and father in the land of her what? Nativity. The land she was born in. That's why she's Moabitish, because she was born in Moab. And she left that land. left that land. She's such an excellent example of how you come into the truth. If you want to think about a sister and what a sister could do to come into the truth, Ruth is one example. There are many others. But Ruth was in that strange land, the land she was born in. She spoke in their language, was raised in their land, and lost her husband. And instead of now going back to her family, who lived in that land, spoke that language, and had those customs, she left that land and went to the land of her husband, who was now dead, to help his mother. Because who else would be in great pain? His mother. And so she now go damn, my husband died. Her son died. I'm leaving my land and I'm going to go help her. And brothers, once again, this is something I say 1,000 times. Damn near no one hears me. This is how you pick a wife. Like this. Not by any of the other carnal, stupid reasons that you pick a woman. But this is how. It is it's valuable to have a woman that has a conscience and that has compassion, and it is rare. And Boaz realized that he found something. He said, I heard about what you did for your mom. I heard you left your culture, that even culture that you were brought up in. You were brought up celebrating New Year's Eve. You were raised in that. You left that to have compassion on a woman who lost her son. That's an amazing thing. I heard about it. I know about it well. Keep going.
And art come unto people which thou knewest not.
And you come over here and you didn't know anything about us because you were raised outside of Israel. And she was willing to do what? And this is a treasure if you got somebody like this. She was willing to do what, Marco? Change? Get my hand. Act, brother. I don't got to teach this. You'll be learning this if you don't already. You will. That is amazing. Strange folk were raised this way. You were raised in a totally different way. And I can see that you were willing to change. He thought it was valuable, brother. He thought it was valuable enough to marry her. Keep going.
4, verse 12. The Lord recompense thy work.
The Lord recompense. Go ahead.
The Lord recompense thy work.
He said, Lord, you back for what you've done. You've done great things. And the Most High is going to pay you back, which is what recompense means. Keep going.
Come. And a full reward be given thee to the Lord Most High of Israel, under whose wings thou art come to trust.
Meaning what? You left the land of the Moabites and begin to trust in what?
God of the Israelites.
The God of the Israelites. That sounds familiar? Well, that's what every sister has done in the school. Right? She left the Americans and the African Americans and the Hispanics and the North American Indians. And she left all of that and came to trust in the God of Israel. She left it. She was not raised like this. She wasn't brought up to do what we do. But she now is under the wings of the God of Israel. And now she's safe. And that is what every sister has to do. They have to change. You understand?
13. Then she said, find favor in thy sight, my Lord, for that thou hast comforted me, and for that thou hast spoken friendly unto thy handmaid.
So then she did something else. She went ahead and took the big swing. Like Boaz is saying, listen, the Most High is going to pay you back for all of your goodness, for the fact that you left the land you were born in and came back to Israel. Came in the Israel. He's going to bless you. Israel. Wait a minute. Why do you bless me? Why don't you help me? It's a hard thing for some sisters to do. He's talking about, sister, the Lord is going to be with you. But hold up. You be with you. Will you come and help me? Do that part again.
God sir. Verse 13. She said, let me find favor in thy sight.
She said that. He's saying what? The God of Israel is going to protect you. He's going to have you under his wings. And she's saying what? Let me find favor in your sight. God is with me. I found favor in the sight of God by coming to Israel. I want to find favor in your sight. She came to get it. You get my point? I hope you understand. She came to get it. You didn't have to chase her around and be a millionaire trying to talk to her on Facebook. You get in line behind everybody else. She put her breast on Facebook. You go instant messenger, and you get in line. It's Jamal, Harry, Tom, all of Bell and DeVoe. They all in there, and you in there with them. And then there's you, and there's about 4 or 5 other brothers in the school using their slave name. That's not what Boaz did. Right. Boaz said, listen, you're a wonderful sister, man. The Most High is going to bless you. Well, what? You want me to help you? Hold up now. But she's coming to him. You get the point. Keep going.
My Lord.
Keep going.
For that thou hast comforted me.
For that thou hast comforted me. I want you to like me. I want you to like me. You saying God likes me. I want you to like me because you have comforted me. Keep going.
God. And for that thou hast spoken friendly unto thine handmaid.
And you have spoken friendly unto thy handmaid. He was nice to her, young brother. He was nice. He went ahead and was nice to the girl. And damn, and she saw something in it. She saw something amazing in the fact this brother was nice to her. And she was poor and suffering and down and had left her people, her family, who lived in Moab, to come serve the God of Israel. And this brother was nice to her. It meant something to her. Keep going.
Come. Though I be not like unto one of thine handmaidens.
Though I'm not like one of your handmaids. What were his handmaids like?
You know, like I said, they're
They dressed well and had fine things. Well, they weren't out picking fruit up off the ground. This is picking fruit up off the ground. And he was so kind to her, even though his handmaids were well off and prosperous and lived wonderful lives, and she was poor. Keep going.
Come. Verse 14. Oh, said unto her, come down hither and eat of the bread, a morsel in the vinegar.
Am I bringing down past what he asked for?
I'm not sure how far he said.
What was the point?
2 and 12, sir.
Where are we at now?
We have 14, sir.
All right, we're good to go. Anything else?
God.
1 second. Captain Cox is up.
So like I said, in Leviticus chapter 9 and verse 19, what's the context when it mentions mingled seed?
Please read.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 19. Ye shall keep my statutes. You shall not let thy cattle gender with the diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field mingled seed. Neither shall garment of linen and woolen come upon thee.
Gotcha. So if you look at the forest, right? A forest is full of mingled seeds. A forest is not in order. You got things growing in the forest. How are they growing? However they want. You understand? They're all growing together. It's wild. You understand? Everything is growing together. The Most High is not like that. The Most High gave Adam the job of coming to the garden, coming to the earth and making it a garden. Meaning peas, carrots, corn. You get my point? Of making it separate and orderly. And the Most High loves order. He's fanatical about it. Fanatical about this seed, this lineage being separate. This is corn. These are carrots. They grow here. This grows here. He puts everything in its proper place. He likes gardens. And think of the difference between a garden and a forest, right? He doesn't like the forest. He likes the garden. And that's what mingled seed is. Mingled seed is where you would take, all your seeds and they would just be thrown out on the ground. As opposed to, I got my carrot seeds over here, my apple seeds over here, and I'm separating all of them to make the place a farm, a garden, and that's what mingled seed is. It's not blind. You understand? Who else might have hand? Did you go ahead?
I was just gonna say when you was talking about Adam, is that what he was saying when he said a man tilled the land?
That's not what it means. He was put in the Middle East to turn the Middle East into a garden. To take this place just wild and everything is just growing how it grows, next to whatever it grows next to. It's getting mingled to whatever it gets next to. Come on.
We consider mingled seed out the world.
Are we considered mingled seed? Not at all. Not physically. You can't be a physically mingled seed unless, of course, your father had sex with outside of this. Then, of course, you would physically be mingled seed. Now, spiritually mingled seed, no, there's no precept back then that we would spiritually be mingled seed. That's not how the Lord describes it. Mingled seed, just think this. Just think he wants carrots and celery. Not carrots and celery. Not that. Not at all growing together, and you got to go piece through the carrots to find the damn piece of celery. He wants it in order, separate, like a farm. Like every farm is grown today. There is no farm that does not exist the way I'm describing. Every farm that exists today on the planet is a place that grows things in their proper place. Where if I went out to the park, I could find some green onions out there. You understand? If you go outside to a field, any field in your city, you go through there, you can go and scavenge. You can find some mushrooms and find some green onions, find a few wild carrots, all growing all together. That's not what the Most High wants, and that's not how seeds will grow best. That's not how to have food. You're not going to have enough food unless those seeds are separate. And because Adam knew how to do it, because the Most High told him, he could flourish while the people round about him would starve. At least that was the plan. Adam decided to do something else.
With this context of the blending and wool put together is, you're not telling them that you're something that's you're saying is wool, but it's really wool and cotton. So
that's exactly what that is talking about. We're not going to mingle either. Once in a while, that's business. That's carnal. This is a wool garment. But it's really not wool. You're lying to me about it being wool. It's a much cheaper fabric, and you're lying. And so because I can't trust what a garment is made of, what
We don't trust each other.
and because we don't trust each other when it comes to buying garments, what happens?
We don't trust each other.
Well, no. If when you go to buy a garment, if you cannot trust that what you buy is what they said it is, what will obviously happen? Tell us that.
You go out of business.
You're going out of business. That's what's going to happen. Right? You're going to go and go, I can't trust this. This might be, I don't know what this is. I'm not buying it. And so we don't prosper financially because you can't trust that if you buy gold, it's gold. You get my point? Before you know it, people start to say, this is not gold. This is not wool. This is not linen. This is not silk. And then your people go out of business. As opposed to being the people, when someone comes and buys from your people, if you say it's wool, it's wool. If you say it's silk, it is silk. So then what happens? You're going to make some money, brother. Which is what this is about. This is about how we do business, how we conduct ourselves. We can have more vegetables than the heathens have, who are just basically going into a field and tasting everything to see if they can eat it.
Right.
You get my point. Come on.
So it makes sense too, because if they mix the cattle, like if you created like a mule,
Yeah.
it can't reproduce.
Yeah. So then what if someone sells me that mule?
And you can't have
And I go, great, I'll go buy this, I'll go buy a male mule and a female mule. Perfect. Right. I'm like, what in the hell? I've been trying to make them for 10 years. him again. And the Most High has told us how to do things. There should be no mules. Mules shouldn't goddamn exist. Right? Some white man thought it would be better, and of course now he makes a mule liger, which is some terrible thing. Right? A terrible zoo. Like on that one that I couldn't stop watching. Carol Baskin. It's a terrible damn thing. It should not exist. You get my point. All right, next question.
Colonel Wakan. So, like I said, real quick to the point that you made, sir. One that's Laban asked, Salakia, sir, what about GMO? He's saying that eels that are spliced and modified into salmon, would that be clean?
Eels?
I think that's what he said.
I don't know nothing about that. GMO is not unlawful, right? The whole GMO thing is stupid. All that. Don't do that. Don't be stupid. There's nothing about it. Nor is there any proof that genetically modifying something is wrong. And there is genetic modifying of plants in the Bible. Ooh-wee. You got the internet. I know you got the internet. Here's what you'll learn one day. Stop listening to people that aren't me.
Right.
They're not me. I'm telling you, no one else knows anything. I go to General Yohanan, he tells me, I tell you. Now shut your effing mouth. And stop learning things. Stop going home and learning from liars who will have you afraid of them carrots. People next door and be like, what's this carrot here? Oh no, carrot. I can't trust you. You too big and healthy. I can't trust you. No. Show me that my of plants in the Bible. It's in the book of Romans. It's the wild olive tree with the wild olive tree with the natural. Very normal. Again, you just grow how they feel like it, right? I know you would. You wouldn't do anything about your carrots, right? But the Most High wants you to get in there with them carrots and make them do better. Make them act right. He wants you to get in there with carrots and make them do what you want them to do. That's what he wants you to do. That's a farm, young men. Not just, just however they grow, that's it. That's not a farm, bro. That's not, is that how you would grow? Some of you raise pit bulls. What would you do with your pit bulls? Right? Would you just say, pit bull, just have sex with any other pit bull you want? Huh? Or would you genetically modify those pit bulls? Would you say, I'm only going to take this red nose and mate him with this other red nose? And not just any red nose. I'm taking my best red nose and mating him with my best female. What have I just done? I've just genetically modified those puppies. I've decided their genes. I've decided. I went in there and I've messed around and I decided.
Romans chapter 11, 16.
Go ahead.
The first fruit be holy. The lump is also holy. And if the fruit branch.
So this is the metaphor of a fig tree. The first fruit of a fig tree, meaning you have a fig tree, right? And I go, this is righteous. Well, the fruit is righteous. And what's righteous? Read it again. First fruit.
If the first fruit, the lump is
What's the lump? The whole tree. That's the lump. If the first fruit is holy, then the whole tree must be holy. Keep going.
and if
The roots are the tree. From tree. If the root be holy, go ahead.
so
And so the branch is holy. If this piece from this tree is holy, the root have to be holy and the branch have to be holy. This is a metaphor for the nation of Israel. at one time the nation of Israel was trying to say some tribes were holy, but the other tribes were terrible. You get my point? That happens today.
Right.
Blacks and Hispanics hating each other. Right? Just now, the Surgeon General just coincidentally said the people that are being killed by the coronavirus more than anyone are blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You know how many years I've heard that up? Not blacks, Hispanics, and Asians. Not blacks and Native Africans from Africa. Not blacks, Hispanics, not blacks and Arabs. Not blacks and people of color. Not that. There's no people of color when it comes to this. Blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians. All the time, forever, for thousands of years. Well, back then, we thought that the blacks were holy, but the Hispanics were not. The blacks were holy, but North American Indians were not. And Paul is trying to say, how could the fruit and not the tree? And if the roots are holy, the branches not be holy. How is it possible that black Hispanics and North American Indians who all suffer together, all die together, are also going to be blessed together? We take the curses together. We take the curses together. Drug addiction together. We take alcoholism together. Take the ghettos and barrios and the reservations together. Well, then why wouldn't we have the heaven together? That's the point that Paul is trying to make. Keep going.
Verse 17. And if some of the branches be broken off.
Now, if some of those branches get broken off, right? Just think of a fig tree and snap, a branch gets broke off. It's thrown away. Go ahead.
And thou, being a wild olive tree.
And thou, being a wild olive tree, meaning you're not from this holy lump. You're a wild olive tree. Keep going.
Were grafted in among men.
And now what happens with you? You are taken, you're not from this lump. You're taken and you're grafted on this lump. Who knows what grafting is? They do it today with skin. Right? They take your skin, you say you get a bad burn right here. They take a cadaver skin and put it on yours. And over time, what happens? That becomes your skin. That's grafting. Or open heart surgery, that's grafting. Or hand amputation and a hand transplant, that's grafting. The metaphor is, you take a branch that's not from this tree, you put it on there and you tie it up. You tie it. And before you know it, over time, that branch becomes part of that tree. Then, come on.
Oh, so I had the article on the genetic modification.
Oh, hold it. Then what? Then wait a minute. What is that fruit? That fruit is what then?
Holy.
That fruit is that holy, and that mention of that flower and that holy tree, and it is holy because it's grafted onto that holy tree. That's the metaphor of that. Paul is trying to say the so-called Hispanic tribes or the northern kingdom, who are not with Israel at that time because they were thrown away before the tribe of Judah. They're wild, but the Most High is grafting them on. Now, for the concept to be understood, what does that tell you that people were doing at that time?
They knew about grafting.
They knew about grafting. They knew they could take, they wanted this tree. This tree is healthy. This is a healthier tree. This tree gives more fruit. I'll take them and I'll modify it. I'll put them together. So now I'll have a healthy tree that gives a lot of fruit. It is an extremely old concept to do. It's thousands of years old. You, of course, would just let your crops die. But a good farmer says, what the hell can I do with these crops live? That tree. Put that tree, and I might come out of the situation. I might get some goddamn lemons up off of this. And he tries to do it. And so now, is the white man the devil? Yes, the white man is the goddamn devil. Right. Anything that the white man does, I'm sure behind the end of it, it's some way he's trying to kill you with everything. Right? He's trying to kill you with the scotch, with the oil, with the olive oil, with everything. I'm sure in all things, there is a plot to kill you. Yet I fear not.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of carrots or radishes. Give them a hand or tomatoes or scotch or olive oil. Somehow I'm fine. All right, I just don't give it that. All right. Once again, that's up to you. You want to be afraid of apples? I'm not stopping you. Lord be with you. All right. But the point is, it's not new to interfere with the genetics of something. That's not new. That's very normal to do that if you're a businessman and trying to sell puppies, trees, fruits, carrots, any goddamn thing. A bun.
This is from the Genetic Literacy Project.org. It's titled, We've been making eating GMOs for centuries in form of grafted plants.
Shalom.
This is, read the second paragraph, sir. The second paragraph. That is the implication of the studies showing that ancient practice of grafting even distantly related plants to stop all three kinds of genome they possess.
I got a plant for some reason is resistant to bugs. Bugs don't mess with this plant. I got this plant that tastes better. Well, what would a good farmer do? Graft these two plants together. Now I have a plant that tastes good and the bugs leave alone.
Right.
If you want to sell some goddamn fruit, you know, you a slave, so you just buy whatever in the supermarket. But if you had to grow some of that stuff, you might get out there and see what you could do. General Yohana has ordered me to come up with UPK chickens in a year. And he knows me, he knows it's on my mind every goddamn day on how in the hell a nigga from North Philly is going to get some chickens. I know nothing about a chicken other than with flour and dipped in oil. But I'm going to find a way. And they're going to be the best chickens you ever goddamn saw. If I got with test tubes.